Well, we made it through round one, but more storms are on the way this week, and that's why we're still under a next weather alert.
And we have storm team coverage for you tonight, beginning with meteorologist Danny Roberti. She's in the next weather sphere where they are tracking all of these storms. Danny?
Hi, Pat. Hi, Juan. Good evening, everybody. That's exactly right. We are still under a next weather alert. Rain is not as widespread as what we saw earlier. We got drenched here in Southern California, but we're still dealing with scattered showers, and not just that, some areas that could get some heavy downpours overnight into early tomorrow morning. Thunderstorms are not out of the question. So let's talk about where the rain's at right now and then where it's headed to, because we are going to see several impulses moving through Southern California this week. It's a stormy week here at home, and that's why that next weather alert has been extended until Thursday. Here's a look at our live radar. I want to zoom you into a couple different areas so you can see most of us getting a break, but we're starting to see some rain moving through Ventura and then right there along the coast near Malibu. And off the waters, we've got some rain, some thunderstorms developing that could move onshore Santa Monica down through Manhattan Beach. We've got some light rain showers right now as well. And then snow continuing up in the mountains, areas like Big Bear getting pummeled. We've already seen 10 inches of snow up there, and this is going to continue. So let's take a look at our future cast. Tonight, we're going to get another little impulse that moves through Orange County into the Inland Empire. This is just after midnight into the wee hours of the morning time. This is not going to be as intense as what we saw earlier. A bit of a break Tuesday morning, so we might even see some sunshine through areas like Ventura County. But then we have that next impulse, that next piece moving through later Tuesday night, and this brings another round of really heavy rain. So coming up, I want to talk about the impacts, and we'll walk you through hour by hour. When you see rain in your neighborhood, well, make sure you're prepared. That's coming up next.
All right, thank you, Danny. We want to go now to the structure fire in the Harvard Heights area.
Desmond Shaw live in SkyCal with the latest. Des.
Pat and Juan, this is on Wilton Place and 15th Street here, so just north of the 10 freeway. Going to be seeing a lot of smoke here coming off from this, and some really bright flames. So this looks like it might be one of those old, kind of maybe classic craftsman-style homes was converted to multi-family housing. That's what it looks like. But then as I zoom in here, I see some boarded-up windows here in the back. So it's possible that this was a vacant building. But regardless, it is really going up here and is likely to be a total loss before it is all done. No reports of any injuries or how the fire started, but firefighters most likely in defensive mode on this one here with some really, really intense flames. I don't think they're going to be able to get up on the roof here to vent this one. So fighting it from the outside, maybe from the very first floor. Pretty serious fire here, and you definitely have some other buildings nearby, but you know, it is obviously very wet out there, so hopefully LA City Fire will be able to use that to their advantage and prevent this from spreading to anything else. Live at SkyCal, I'm Desmond Shaw. Pat and Juan, back to you.
All right, well, you answered the question. We were wondering if the adjacent buildings are in any danger, and it's certainly on a night tonight we didn't expect to see a fire.
No, indeed. All right, we're going to keep monitoring the situation here with SkyCal and Desmond Shaw and bring you the very latest throughout the night.
Well, talking about the rain, the last of the heavy rain hitting the Inland Empire tonight, certainly not where we just saw that fire. It has led to crashes and dangerous driving conditions.
And our Leslie Maring is live in Corona, where drivers were warned to slow down. Leslie.
Good evening, Juan, Pat. It has been a wet and soggy evening here in the Inland Empire. Everything's dry right now, but just to give you an idea, you can see how wet these cars are here behind me. And just take a listen to how hard it came down right around dinner time. Yeah, a lot of people trying to stay inside. You can see right around 6 p.m. it was a pretty good dump of rain near the 15 and Cajalco. People having to pull out their umbrellas once again to make sure they could get to their cars from dinner. It was no problem for these workers, though, that were working the drive-thru at the Chick-fil-A. They were fully prepared to stay dry, and I think they did. Earlier today, we did see several car accidents, this one happening near the 91 freeway and Main Street. We spoke to two men who also said that they were also in an accident after hydroplaning on the 91 on their way home from work. Luckily, they were both okay. We spoke to some drivers and a tow truck driver today about the difficulties on the road, especially with more rain and wind on the way.
Mostly it's just been wet, damp, cold, a lot of accidents, power lines down. It's not a good day.
A lot of traffic, a lot of accidents, stuff like that. I hate the rain. I hate the rain. I hate it.
He even told us that he just plans to stay home for the next few days if he can. Well, not everyone, of course, loves the rain, but there was no complaints about this. A double rainbow along the 91 and Green River. Definitely a welcome sight for many of the people stuck in this rainy evening traffic. Back out here live. Now, we did reach out to officials both in San Bernardino and Riverside County just to see if they had dealt with any big issues. So far, they say none, but they're reminding people when on the roadways these next couple days, you want to slow down just because the roads will remain wet. Reporting live in Corona, Leslie Marin, CBS LA.
Leslie, thank you. And heavy snow falling in our mountains tonight as well, and it can cause a real mess on the roads in and out of Big Bear.
Oh, yes. CBS LA's Zach Boetto made it into town tonight where people are rushing to get up the mountain.
Snow still coming down here in Big Bear, and the roads are icy. Snow covering the roads. Take a look. If you are driving through here, it's easy to get stuck if you don't have chains or cables on your tires. Take a look at this video that we took from on our way up here. A bunch of people getting stuck. Highway 18 or Big Bear Boulevard at this point is covered in snow. The road conditions really started to change between the 3,000 and 4,000 elevation level just before running springs. Caltrans has chain controls in effect for the 330 and the 18 for this exact reason. Those rear-wheel drive or front-wheel drive vehicles cannot make it with how icy and snowy the roads are up here right now. Caltrans making chains for those vehicles mandatory. We spoke with a couple of groups who thought they could make it without chains or cables, but ended up needing some help.
It's like icy and the snow got like melted into ice and got like flipped over and we can't move.
So we came for a long weekend and we were supposed to go down before the storm, but we got stuck.
We also spoke with a chain installer who lives here in Big Bear. He says locals have been looking forward to this snow.
We've been hanging on by a thread, those of us who try to make our living with inclement weather.
And you're happy about the snow?
Why, certainly, it's good weather. There's no such thing as bad.
But tonight, we're in a tough situation. What's going on?
This is pretty much, it's supposed to be standard every year, but you know, this is what we've been waiting for.
Now, if you're planning on heading out for what should be a powdery day here at the ski resorts tomorrow, make sure you have those chains with you on your tires and ready to go driving slow on the mountain. Again, Caltrans has 330 and 18 under chain controls. Also, we will be here, CBS LA, for the next few days doing your snowy mountain coverage. Make sure you stay with us here on CBS LA. Reporting in Big Bear, I'm Zach Boetto, CBS LA.
Well, every storm brings fears of debris flows and flooding in areas ravaged by the Eaton and Palisades fire.
CBS LA's Nicole Comstock live in Altadena, and CBS LA's Lori Perez live in Malibu. Lori, let's start with you.
Yeah, no rain here in Malibu tonight, thankfully, but Topanga Canyon Boulevard from PCH up to Grandview Drive has already been closed because of rocks and mud that have come down from the hillsides. Locals know when the storms hit, they have to stay ready. Pounding rain earlier today caused challenges in Santa Monica. Flooding water spraying out of overwhelmed drains and collecting on roadways too high to let cars through. Overflow slowed traffic on streets in Brentwood, too. A Waymo appeared to stall in the rising waters as other cars slowly waded through. And in Pacific Palisades, a home security camera caught debris flowing down Sunset Boulevard at Will Rogers State Park Road. And the Sarah Retreat neighborhood is also on alert tonight. That's where there's a low bridge that crosses over Malibu Creek. Locals tell me the problem there is the creek bed is full of sediment from last February's massive flood that brought a torrent of mud and huge rocks into the community. Whenever it rains, there's concern rising waters will overflow from the choked creek bed into yards and roads. Tonight, neighbors say the water is rising, but it's not a big worry just yet.
Right now it's low, so it's the amount that that's come through right now is subsiding.
We got other ways in and out, so it's all good, but you know, the water rises, the water falls. It's just a circle of life.
Now, both the city of LA and the city of Malibu pre-staged heavy equipment and got to work really clearing the storm drains to try to help prevent any problems. We are live in Malibu tonight. I'm Lori Perez. Back to you.
All right, Lori, thank you. Now to the Eaton burn scar tonight, where some people who are already rebuilding are trying to protect their homes from the rain.
And our team coverage continues with Nicole Comstock. She's live in Altadena, where the hills are holding, at least for now. Nicole?
That's right. You know, we've had some quick bursts of heavy rain and wind out here in the San Gabriel foothills tonight, but thankfully we haven't had that soaking rain that could have caused more damage up the hill from us here where the Eaton fire burned. Take a look at this video here. It's the last time we saw a band of rain moving through the Altadena area around dinner time, so a few hours ago now. And of course they had sandbags available in town for people at the maintenance yard on Mountain View Street, for anyone who needed to prep their homes for this rainstorm. That's because many were warned that they might need to evacuate again if there were a strong thunderstorm that popped up during this rain. But if you take a look at the mountains in Altadena tonight, you would see that there's a lot of fresh green vegetation on them now that we're about a year out from the Eaton fire. And since many neighbors here haven't had significant flooding or debris flow in previous storms since, many are feeling better about the risk of mud flow now. Here's Kate Stevenson and her friend Teddy.
Pretty substantial, I would say. There was moments where it was really chucking it down, and I was feeling very happy to be cozy and inside. And the wind also really kicked up sometime in the late afternoon.
Teddy, do you like the rain? Oh, I think, is that a yes or a no? Well, we did later confirm that Teddy there, the dog, is a puppy, and so apparently he just has the energy to be out here all night in the rain like this. It is looking like the rain will pick up again, maybe within the next hour out here, but it is expected to be lighter overnight. So people who live in the burn scars are just being warned that they still need to keep an eye on their surroundings throughout the rest of this storm. Reporting live in Altadena, Nicole Comstock, CBS LA.
Nicole, thank you. Flooding nightmares continue for business owners on Melrose. We've been reporting on this problem for years, and last November, the city said it had fixed the issue.
But clearly, Juan, not since it flooded today. Mike Rogers, how did this happen again?
Yeah, you know, Juan and Pat, the city had everything in place to fix the issue and to stop the issue from happening. And the problem, according to business owners and even the council person that represents that area, there was just nobody to operate any of the equipment. Take a look at the video. You'll see a big blue truck right outside the window of one of these businesses. That is a pumper truck. That pumper truck, along with all the tools that it would need, were put there ahead of the rain. But there was nobody to here today to turn on the pumper truck or to open up the utility holes or the storm drains, and that caused these businesses to once again flood. Flooding at this intersection, Melrose and Martel, has been an issue for a very, very long time. Last November, the city decided they were going to put Public Works and the LA Sanitation Department in place ahead of the storms to stop this from happening. It's worked several times before, but today they didn't show up until after the rain had already damaged several businesses. This afternoon, we caught up with some of the owners, including this group, New Rock here. Look at all the damaged goods that are just sitting on the street. In addition to the loss of inventory, the business owners tell us they're incredibly frustrated because now they've got to do all the cleanup, and they thought this problem had been solved.
The city needs to fix the water problem, because not just me, but other businesses get flooded too, you know? So it's a big issue.
I had faith in this equipment, but I mean, this is a lot of money, man. You know, these guys' salaries aren't cheap. This equipment's not cheap. And if it's not working anyways, why not pay to fix the problem?
Councilmember Katie Yaroslavsky represents that area. She said in a statement to us, this was completely unacceptable. LA San, that's LA Sanitation, confirmed ahead of the storm that pump trucks and crews would be staged and actively responding, as they have successfully done in the past. Instead, the response was delayed, inadequate, and local businesses were left dealing with the flooding and damage. Her statement goes on to say, quote, "We have demanded an immediate review from LA Sanitation to determine exactly what happened, who is responsible for the breakdown, and what corrective actions will be taken right now. We expect answers and we expect immediate change. This cannot happen again." We want to know the same things the council person wants to know. We reached out to Public Works and LA Sanitation for a statement on what exactly went wrong and where all the people were that were supposed to be operating those pumper trucks and the other equipment there today. So far, we have not heard back. Of course, if we do, we'll be sure to let you know.
More rain on the way, so we'll see what happens this week.
Yep.
Okay, Mike, thank you.
Massive flooding in Westwood.
Overwhelmed storm drains were a theme across Southern California. This is Westwood, where a low spot on Wilshire filled up with water.
And look at this, more storm video in Newport Beach. The rain came down in sheets today.
And Pat Street and beach flooding in Seal Beach, here it is, where the walkway was partially underwater and crews had to drain a pool of storm water that had formed on the sand.
And flooding on the eastbound 118 connector to the southbound 405 in Granada Hills. The water, in fact, covering one of two lanes, as you see there, and causing at least one crash. SkyCal was overhead as police and fire responded to that wreck.
That guy's still in his vehicle.
This is North Hollywood, where some drivers who tried to make it through a flooded intersection got stuck. This is on Vineland near Van Nuyen, right next to Hollywood Burbank Airport.
Almost unrecognizable.
That's right.
Stay with us. Our Storm Watch team coverage continues with the story of a very close call for a family when a huge tree landed on their car.
All right, back to our breaking news in Arlington Heights.
That's right, a fire that seems to be pretty much under control now. Let's get back up to Desmond Shaw in SkyCal. Des?
Yeah, Pat and Juan, the good news here, LA City Fire, just heard them on the radio say they're pretty confident they're going to have a knockdown here soon. And you do see a lot more white smoke than black smoke at this point. We can show you some earlier video when we first got on scene, and it was definitely raging, but they are inside trying to knock this down now. Very interesting here. This is not the first time that this home has burned. In fact, our assignment desk is letting us know that it was February 7th, so not even maybe 2 weeks ago that this home had burned, and a firefighter sustained a minor injury in that when they extinguished that fire. That was apparently some contents inside that had caught fire. So they're also saying that this is an abandoned home. You can see everything that's boarded up here on the front, but most likely someone had taken up residence, or some people had taken up residence inside of the house. So it's worth wondering if that's what caused this fire as well. It sounds like the last thing that this multifamily home was actually a church of some kind, California Hope Presbyterian Church, I believe our assignment desk said, but that was quite some time ago. So it has been abandoned. No reports of any injuries. They are getting a handle on it here, but they'll probably be out here for several hours at the very least. Pat and Juan, back to you now in the studio.
Okay, thanks for the update, Desmond. And now to developing news. More pressure tonight on the head of LA 28 Olympic Games.
And as we've been reporting, Casey Wasserman's name was discovered in the Epstein files 2 weeks ago. But now Mayor Karen Bass says he should resign. And CBS LA political reporter Tom Wade is here with more on this story.
Yeah, and so far the executive committee for LA 28 has supported Wasserman. We'll see if that changes. But yeah, for 2 weeks now, since Wasserman's name was found in the Epstein files, Mayor Bass has refused to say whether the head of the local Olympics committee should stay or go. But tonight, she's finally taken a position. She says LA 28 needs new leadership. Embattled head of the LA 2028 Olympic Committee, Casey Wasserman, suffers another major blow in the wake of his appearance in the Epstein files. Monday, LA Mayor Karen Bass told CNN she thinks Wasserman should resign.
My opinion is that he should step down.
Wasserman has been under fire since the release of a batch of Epstein files that contained racy emails exchanged between Wasserman and Epstein's girlfriend and co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell from 2003. Wasserman has not been accused of any wrongdoing in connection with Epstein, and in a statement he insisted the messages took place before Maxwell's horrific crimes came to light. LA 28's Olympic Organizing Committee met last week and announced their continued support for Wasserman to remain as chairman. LA Mayor Karen Bass, who does not have the authority to remove Wasserman herself, thinks the board made the wrong call.
The board made a decision. I think that decision was unfortunate. I don't support the decision. I do think that we need to look at the leadership. The behavior of Maxwell, what they were involved in, is abhorrent.
The fallout from the release of the Epstein files for Wasserman has been devastating. Bass's call for him to go comes after the entertainment mogul just announced he would sell his stake in his talent agency, which represents some of the biggest stars in music, movies, and sports. Why it took Mayor Bass a couple of weeks to weigh in on Wasserman's fate may have a lot to do with politics.
My understanding is that there is a risk that if Casey Wasserman steps down, that it could be fodder for the Trump administration to come in and play a larger role in the Olympics here in Los Angeles. So no doubt there's a large balancing act that's at play.
No response tonight from Wasserman. His only public comment was a statement released weeks ago in which he expressed regret for the connections between the Epstein and Maxwell situation. The Winter Olympics will wrap up in Milan this Sunday, and the IOC will formally transfer responsibility for the next Olympic Games to LA 28. Juan.
All right, Tom, thank you. Now to developing news. A massive and illegal fireworks show taking over LA's 6th Street Bridge.
Well, Mike Rogers, it's just the latest problem in a long series of problems for this nearly $600 million bridge that was supposed to be a shining symbol of the city. Sorry, I sound sarcastic.
No, I think we're going to start calling this segment Why We Can't Have Nice Things Here in LA, because that's exactly what keeps happening on the 6th Street Bridge. The 6th Street Bridge is dark because of copper thieves. It's tagged up in graffiti, and now there are fireworks shooting off from it. Take a look at this video that was posted on social media that we obtained here. You can see the person that's taking the video comes up. You see a large group of people with lots of boxes, clearly a coordinated operation here to set all these fireworks off. They start setting them up in cones, other places. They all gather. They have a little powwow here, and then look at that. And intense. We're not talking about a couple of fireworks. This is a lot of commercial grade fireworks that are being shot off on the 6th Street Bridge. Now, in the end of the video, you actually do see the fire department show up. They try to put out some of the smoldering boxes after they were caught on fire here. I did check with the LAPD. The bridge splits between 2 divisions. Central Division told me he wasn't there the night this happened, so he didn't have a ton of information for me. Nonetheless, we're sure that law enforcement has seen this video and is at least aware of it. But as we mentioned, it is a series of problems on the 6th Street Bridge. This is video we pulled out of the archive here, where the bridge, by the way, has only been open since 2022. We're not talking a very long time here, but we have had car meetups, crashes, spin-outs. We've had people that are walking down the middle of the street here. The LAPD, for a period of time, actually had to shut the bridge down for days on end because they simply could not keep people off of it that were doing things like this, walking down the pillars on the side of the bridge. And who can forget this? The guy that got his hair cut in the middle of the 6th Street Bridge. That was shortly after it opened. So it's a bridge that is just plagued with problems over and over again. The city has done various things to try to prevent things like this from happening, but nonetheless, as you saw in the video, a massive illegal fireworks show happening right there in the middle of the bridge.
Yeah, it's not a movie set.
No.
What a shame.
Yeah.
It really is.
3 people, including the gunman, are dead and 3 more critically wounded after a shooting at a youth hockey game in Rhode Island.
And Louisa Moeller from CBS Boston says it appears the shooter targeted his family.
Cell phone video captured the moment gunshots rang out during a high school boys hockey game in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. People in the stands bolted for the exits as hockey players could be seen scrambling to get off the ice. Goalie Olin Lawrence was playing when the shooting began.
I heard a couple gunshots go off. I thought it was balloons at first. It was loud, and then it kept going on.
First responders could be seen carrying the wounded on stretchers to nearby ambulances. Investigators say it was a targeted event, most likely a family dispute. The suspected shooter was also found dead at the scene from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound.
The local school district says all of the hockey players are safe and accounted for. Local authorities believe at this time the suspect acted alone. Louisa Moeller, CBS News, Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
A woman who claims her father was the shooter told reporters he suffered from serious mental health problems. New developments tonight in the search for Nancy Guthrie. Investigators are using what's known as a signal sniffer in an effort to detect transmissions from her pacemaker. It comes as Savannah Guthrie continues to plead for her mother's safe return.
You're not lost or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing.
Right now, the FBI is hoping to match DNA found from a black glove to the DNA found inside her home. Sheriff Chris Nanos tells CBS News that one of the most promising leads is what the suspect was wearing. Nanos says Walmart stores are providing surveillance video, records of every Ozark Trail hiker backpack purchased online and in stores over the past several months.
DNA from inside that residence with the glove they found on the outside, then that's where you got the home run.
Sheriff Nanos believes the clothing, including the suspect's face mask, came from the same retailer and possibly the same store. And make sure to stay with CBS LA and CBSLA.com for the very latest developments in the abduction of Savannah Guthrie's mother and the efforts to get Nancy Guthrie back.
All right, back to our weather now in this scary scene in Crestline, where cars and drivers and their passengers were nearly crushed by a huge tree that came down during the storm.
Well, Mike Rogers, everyone involved is okay?
Yeah, everyone involved is okay, which is good news because there was a child in one of those cars as well. But this was a huge tree that came tumbling down during the thick of the storm today. Mostly the wind is what caused all this. Take a look at some of the video, because when the tree came down, it also took energized power lines down with it. That's what San Bernardino County Fire tells me. Took fire crews a minute to get to the people inside because they had to wait for the power company to come de-energize the lines. There you see what appears to be a child, somebody else being helped out of the car. The tree came down on 2 cars. One car had 4 people in it. The other car had 2 people in it. Only one person was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. There you see the power company cutting one of the lines that had gotten tangled up in that tree when it came down. Now, it's a good reminder to let everybody know, if you ever find yourself in a situation like this where you are in a car that has a power line coming down on top of it, whether it's tangled up in a tree or not, stay in your car and wait, like these people did, for the fire department to give you the all clear. If there is an energized power line that is touching the ground or touching your car, getting out of that car could actually electrocute you. So first responders will always remind you to stay in that car until they tell you it is safe. Guys, throughout the storm, we got tons of video sent to us here at the desk. If you've got video, pictures, anything else you want us to take a look at, that's our number on the screen, 818-221-2222. It comes directly to me here at the desk, my colleagues in the newsroom, as well as our Mark Liu in the morning.
Okay, Mark, thank you so much.
Look at this, hey! There really is hail on the floor.
All right, pounding rain in Seal Beach. We found some folks who appeared to be rethinking their trip to the beach.
We are crazy being here. You don't even have a jacket on. I know, I'm so cold.
Farm closed early because of the bad weather, making Annie Armstrong's birthday a washout.
Oh.
Like, you know when you leave your cereal bowl out for a while and then all the Cheerios get all wet and soggy? I said I felt like a soggy Cheerio.
We have breaking news right now. As you can see there in the distance, a pursuit in San Bernardino County.
Let's go up to Desmond Shaw live in SkyCal. Des?
Yeah, Juan and Pat, we are just getting over this one. This is a pursuit that's already run quite the gamut here out of San Bernardino County. I believe it's San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies that was in pursuit of this blue Ford F-150 that we're just getting on the scene of here as we're westbound on the 10. Apparently for multiple traffic violations. The most serious we heard maybe was running a red light. And, you know, we know how those Inland Empire agencies can be. They like to stick with these pursuits regardless of the want if they're able to. There's actually 2 police helicopters are on this, or there's about to be anyway. We're waiting for 40 King, the Inland Empire ship. That's the sheriff's deputies ship out there in the Inland Empire that is on their way to catch up. The LA County Sheriff's deputies helicopter lending their spotlight here at the moment. So here's the vehicle. You can see that traffic that was stopped, maybe something rain related there on the eastbound side. But we are westbound headed towards downtown LA. This big pickup truck, we've got slick conditions out here and the police in pursuit. So definitely all conspiring to make for a pretty dangerous situation here, Pat, Juan, and Mike.
Yeah, there's no question about that, because there's not a lot they can do in terms of any techniques to try to stop this. You know, certainly Pitt, that's out of the question right now for sure. And maybe even laying spike strips when you're on the freeway.
Yeah, and they're going to be a lot more hesitant to do a pit maneuver with the roads being as wet as they are. That'll make the pit maneuver even more difficult. What's interesting is San Bernardino sheriffs are still chasing this on the ground. CHP, since the county line and even before, has been asking, hey, do you want CHP to take over? Do you want CHP to take over? And San Bernardino sheriffs has repeatedly said, no, we'll hang on to this one. It is just now, as we pass El Monte, that they are starting to now say, okay, CHP, we do want you to take over. They probably realize they're pretty far outside of their county now, so maybe CHP can handle it. And that looks like that is CHP that is now officially taken over. That's the #1 car right there. I can see the Highway Patrol sticker on the back of it. CHP had told San Bernardino, as we have heard them do before, we will not get in this until you get out of it. CHP is one of those agencies that it's all theirs or it's not theirs, and that's what they were trying to sort out with the Sheriff's Department in San Bernardino, telling them they needed to get out of the pursuit if they wanted them to take over. So it looks like that has finally happened, and we are now seeing a couple of our CHP units begin to take this over as we are westbound on the 10, coming into almost Monterey Park now.
So it's not like 2 agencies were chasing this at once, as you were saying, Mike. One had to give up the chase so that the CHP could could jump in, right?
Yeah, CHP is one of the few agencies that kind of has that policy. Other agencies will gladly take support from allied agencies, but CHP wants to run the pursuit the way they want to run it with their policies, their standards, and what have you. So they won't do a hybrid model where you have half CHP, half San Bernardino Sheriff. They want the whole thing, or they don't want to be involved in it at all. So now you've got LA County Sheriff's helicopter overhead, and the CHP has now taken over this chase.
And right now it seems to be driving the speed limit, or very close to it. It's a good thing, too. I don't see that much traffic from Desmond's shop. Desmond, what do you say? I mean, it doesn't look very crowded on the freeway tonight.
No, it's really not too bad at all. I mean, we're at the tail end of a holiday day, and folks probably wanting to hunker down, ready for the next big band of rain coming in. So westbound 10 looks like it's going to be pretty open. It's rare that we see any Caltrans work when it's rainy like this either, so not likely to run into any big construction. I mean, the big deal is if he runs into any standing water or something on the roadway is probably the most dangerous thing. We're at, kind of highway speeds, a little over the speed limit, but nothing super crazy yet. Not seeing any swerving all over the place or crazy lane changes or anything like that. So I'm guessing we're still going to have LA County Sheriff's deputies helicopters on this. We heard that another helicopter was coming up out of Long Beach to relieve the one that was up here because they were running low on fuel. With CHP in this, I know they like to use their fixed-wing aircraft, but that's probably not going to work with the weather today because those planes usually have to fly pretty high, and the ceilings are rather low today with all of these clouds. I mean, weather can definitely be a factor, for any of the airships up here, but definitely for fixed-wing aircraft. So I think we're going to probably stick with the helicopters covering this one and see where this person's going. They've just been content to stay on the westbound 10 pretty much the whole time and be in the left lane the entire time as well.
And it's a good thing that it's not raining right now, right? Because this is an F-150 truck. They're very heavy, very powerful as well. And the fact that there's not a lot of traffic, that all benefits the folks on the road. But for the CHP giving chase, I mean, they're going to stay on this, like as you said, Mike, till they get this driver to pull over.
Yeah, and the benefit, we always talk about this, but the benefit of being with the CHP now is the CHP will just hand it off to different offices as they traverse through whatever part of the state they're going to traverse through. And there you see those two units. We were in the Santa Fe Springs area, office area. We're coming into the East LA office. So we may see that, kind of swap out of units that are behind it now, but they'll do that as they kind of, constantly cycle their way through all of this. And again, this, as far as we know, according to the CHP, this all started when this guy ran a stoplight. That's what a traffic light. That's what they originally tried to pull him over for. And then the sheriff's helicopter told Desmond that there was additional, traffic violations along that. But that's it. We're not talking armed robbery, anything like that. As far as we know, this is all over traffic violations.
Yeah, well, they certainly pulled in some resources for this. You've got two choppers.
Yeah.
And certainly the CHP behind. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Mike.
so I'm just getting some, Orlando, my colleague, is giving me some information here. So the East LA office is where we're at now. The East LA sergeant has said, no thanks, don't want it. And if they come into the black, which is the central LA office, if that sergeant also says, no thanks, don't want it, then they're going to get rid of it and be done altogether.
They're going to let it go.
They're going to let it go, yep.
Okay.
So, because San Bernardino Sheriff's backed out, and that's, I don't know the strategic moves behind this with San Bernardino Sheriff, but they're probably very aware that if they handed that off, it's a real possibility that this guy's going to get away because, again, the want is just traffic violations, and he's not, doing anything terribly aggressive at this moment. And CHP, especially in LA County, is going to be more likely to give that up. And especially if you have other offices that don't want to get involved in this. So they're going to let it get into the central LA office. If the central LA office doesn't want it, then that's it. They're going to let it go.
Well, they've got license plates, so I mean, I guess for their thinking, if they really want to go pick up this person later, they can do it, or, you have a feeling something else might happen with this individual if they're not stopping and they're just wanted for a red light violation.
Right, and we've not heard anything about it being stolen. So, that would obviously up the want here, but we've not heard anything about it being stolen. So to your point, Pat, yeah, they very likely know who at least the registered owner is and can catch up with them later if they want it.
So, Mike, when do they make this decision on whether to keep going or pull back?
Right, so we're in a geographical area right now. Let me go over to that radio. It's the black radio, but we will be coming into that now. We're on the westbound 10. We just passed over the 710. So we'll be coming into the central LA area office soon, and we're waiting to hear whether or not that sergeant's going to want it. The East LA sergeant had already said, no thanks, we're not getting involved.
So we're just waiting on the 710, actually.
We're waiting for them to get a little bit further west, and we'll wait for the sergeant on the other radio to see what they say. Here, let me see if I can listen in really quick to that.
And Mike, I'm guessing these sergeants communicate with each other as well.
Yeah.
I don't want it. It's headed your way.
Yeah, exactly.
You make the choice.
And the airship, the sheriff's airship they don't work for CHP. They work for the sheriff. So the sheriff with LA County can switch from radio to radio and say, hey, Yellow didn't want it. Do you guys want it on the block? And go for it that way. But it sounds like the central LA sergeant may give permission for his officers to take it. So we may see this continue on because the central officers are going to be able to swap out the Baldwin Park officers.
Okay, so that would be coming up pretty soon, though.
Soon, yeah. It looks like they're trying to get in place.
All right, well, we've been watching this for about the past almost 10 minutes here on KCAL 9 here, and this original want for this F-150 pickup truck was running a red stoplight. Sheriff's Department got involved at first and then handed it over to CHP, and now CHP is, we don't really want it, so you guys can have it back. And now the Sheriff's Department, the Central Division, has to decide if they want to pick it up or not.
Yeah, so we've got CHP, the Sheriff's airship's overhead. They're going to do a swap out because I think Des was saying one of them was fuel. And it sounds like the CHP office in downtown, the Central LA office, does want to take it. So I don't know if we already saw it swap out or if that's the same car. So they may still be waiting to do the swap once they get some people. And we're going to switch to Des. We're going to go to the blue radio on this too. So that's the blue radio is a regional wide radio where they can all talk to each other instead of switching channels all the time.
And Michael, you were saying this is CHP now. They could go as far as they need to go in the state of California, right?
Yeah, as far as they want. And, we've seen it. I mean, it depends on where this guy wants to go. I think he's staying on the 10. So, if he made a move for the 5, maybe you would try to get out of town. But staying on the 10 West isn't going to do him a whole heck of a lot.
No.
Get over to the west side. Is he staying on the 101, Des? Or the 10, I mean?
Yeah, so this is that stub of the 10 San Bernardino freeway that ends at the 101 and heads towards downtown LA, and that's the section of roadway. There's the 5 that we just crossed right there. So we will be heading towards downtown LA. It was at the last second looked like maybe he wanted to go to the 5 Golden State Freeway, but sticking with this, we'll get into downtown. There could be a little traffic crimp there per usual, 101 around the 110. See if that's any kind of a factor. Slowing way down now all of a sudden. That's the slowest that we've seen them go.
That's
and then
under
this
the
is going to go
speed
down to just a couple of, and so we're getting ready to come into that, kind of vexing interchange area here where the 10 and the 101 merge together just south of downtown Los Angeles, and we'll see if any traffic kind of pops up through there. As I kind of widen out, you know what, look at that. It actually looks pretty easy for this suspect right now. So sticking with it, that might be the new helicopter that's jumping in to relieve the other one right there, but Sheriff's 2-1 now, really slow here. Might be coming to a stop. Wondering if he ran out of gas.
Oh, yeah.
This is definitely a
quite the
gas-sucking vehicle, and just all of a sudden coming to a stop. And CHP almost pulling up like they were thinking about a pit maneuver or something. But some slick roadways down there, and all of a sudden, after all of that, coming from San Bernardino, we are at a complete stop, and we've got some
hands
out the window, and this might be it right now.
Well, it looks like he's talking to them, Desmond, or should I say listening? No, he's gesturing. He hasn't got out yet.
Smoking a cigarette, it looks like.
Yeah, more a cigarette before the handcuffs go on, it looks like. So, I think he's got a phone in his hand as well, but just kind of casually coming out and enjoying a couple more puffs of nicotine, it looks like there. And, but hands are up, and just like that, just so strange. There was no real serious attempt that I could see from this suspect to try to get away. Was never going very fast. Didn't do anything very erratic or threatening. But one way or another, it is coming to an end with the cigarette, I think, still in his mouth, and now handcuffs around his arms.
Well, you know what? He can always say maybe, I didn't know you guys were chasing me. I was going that fast, so I ran a red light, but just, thinking out loud.
And we're guessing he ran out of gas, right?
Yeah.
I guess so, but he's enjoying his cigarette. Okay.
And coming to clear the vehicle here, this should be the official code for all clear once they can see back in there past the pursuit tinted windows, as we pretty much always have. It looks like the vehicle almost certainly emptying out at this point by the more casual, they just kind of want to look at the very back seat, make sure no one's hiding on the floorboard or anything like that. But looks like the vehicle is clear. One in custody here. Minor traffic inconvenience for people headed into downtown LA, but Otherwise, surrendering without incident.
And nobody hurt, and that's the important thing, right?
Indeed. All right, code 4. Thank you so much, Desmond, Mike. All right, let's switch now to Danny. Find out how the weather is. But we noticed it wasn't that wet outside, at least on the westbound 10.
Yeah, I know, Pat Juan, that's exactly right. We're kind of getting a break from the rain right now. Some of us are, at least. Things are quieter than they were earlier today, but we are still under that next weather alert because we are going to see more impulses, more rounds of rain moving through. Let me take a step out of the way. I want to zoom you in right here. So this is where we're seeing a batch of more moderate showers developing. So this is developing off the coast, moving onshore through Ventura and LA counties. And you can see areas like Thousand Oaks, Camarillo, right there along the 101, making our way into Calabasas, and you can see those rain showers moving onshore right now. This is not as intense as what we saw earlier today, but still going into tonight, you might hear some of that heavy rain outside your home. Right here along the 5, making our way into Commerce, we've got some light rain showers as well. The 605 through West Covina, you can see a little bit of light rain through Southern California right now. And this is going to pick up a little bit overnight into early tomorrow morning. Midnight, you can see that next impulse moving through. So Orange County into the Inland Empire, we could see some moderate showers, heavy snow continuing up through the mountains, and then a little bit of a break as we wake up first thing Tuesday morning. A little bit of sunshine out there as well, so we dry out just a bit with some scattered showers once we get going into the afternoon. But the next piece of this, piece number 2, is moving through late Tuesday night, and you can see a line of heavy showers moving into Southern California, pushing into Los Angeles, Orange County, and the Inland Empire overnight Tuesday into Wednesday morning, and then more rain, making for a rainy day going into our Thursday. So we just keep the rain going here in Southern California. Winter storm warnings, so snow dipping to 3,000 feet, impacting the Grapevine late Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning, with gusty winds up through the mountains and even our coasts and valleys, seeing wind gusts up to about 40 miles per hour. Here's a look at the next 7 days. Next weather alert Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we have a watch, and then we start to dry out this upcoming weekend. Alrighty, it is time for Sports Central with our Chris Harry. We are Southern California.
We are Corona.
We are Burbank.
We are the Santa Clarita Valley.
We are Dana Point.
We are CBS LA.
We are yours.